happy Monday. Hope you had a nice, cool, comfortable weekend. We sure didn't. Got up to 114. So it was a bit tough, but I mean, that's not as high as it gets here. But for example, today or yesterday, I suppose, it just got over 100, 102, 3, something like that. Nothing big, but my glasses are so dirty and they are not cleaning. It was also like 20-something% humidity, which I know for most of the country you guys go, ugh. But where we live, we cool our houses with humidity. That's how we cool it. We use swamp coolers, and they work by pumping water all over pads and forcing air down over the pads, and that puts humidity into our homes and cools them off. It takes like 30 degrees off of the temperature, which is essential, right? Except it doesn't work when humidity goes over, 10% or so. Yeah, our normal humidity here is 4 to 7. So I'm just saying, pretty crazy, but still. So yeah, even though it was cooler, our cooling was less efficient, so it felt just as hot or maybe even hotter. I feel like I need lotion, but I don't know where my lotion went. I'm gonna look because my hands actually feel like I've got flour all over them, and I don't. Got it. Oh, yes, hallelujah. Yeah, when my hands get, I think I need a new bottle, or actually I just need to refill that one up, but when my hands get that way, I just, it's really strange. When I was a kid, I had some severe sensory issues that I don't think, Neville, what is with you? What is with you? I don't think anyone really, people in the 70s, they just, 80s, sensory issues, who cares, right? It was like no big deal. And so I've always had really strong ones. I remember it was 7th grade at the kitchen table in Ventura, and I was doing math problems, but I could feel, I didn't have shoes on. I just had socks on, but I could feel that the seam wasn't in the right place, and I couldn't focus. And so I kept wanting to fix it, but my mom thought I was procrastinating doing the work. So she's like, you can fix those socks just as soon as you get the work done. But until then, you just leave that sock alone. And I was like, I can't concentrate, but you don't argue with the mom. You do what the mom says. So I had to learn to work through it. She did this all the time, and she just thought she was keeping me from procrastinating. She had no idea that she was actually desensitizing me. And I don't know that that works for everybody, but it did for me, because I had been married for 5 to 10 years, somewhere in there. And I realized that I was back to being unable to function if things weren't just so. If I could feel this, if my hands were dry like that, well, I mean, you can see I did it again. But that kind of thing, if my sock was off, if I had a tag that was, immersed, I had a tag that was bothering me, I just couldn't. And I remember Mom, and when I was a kid, I had no idea this was happening, but it all started clicking. So I actually do make myself sometimes, I wouldn't do that to you guys because this would be all over the place. But if this had been me sitting in the chair and trying to work, and me just being fidgety like that, I would have made myself sit there for a good 10 minutes before I let myself put lotion on, if I thought about it, so that I could help lower the oversensitization. Dry brushing, I had no idea how amazing that was until I did it, and that definitely helps me with the oversensitivity stuff. So anyway, you didn't need all that, but you got it, and I'll probably cut it out. And if I don't, well, that's because I was too lazy to. So sorry. Anyway, this week again, I only read 2 books and worked hard on 2 more. First book I finished Nightfall in the Garden of Deep Time. It's really funny. I want so much to do. I don't know. You tell me. Do you want a deep spoilery dive into this one? Because there's a lot in this book. There's a whole lot. But the only... Goodness, you're thirsty. Oh, there's still water. You want me to pour some more? I'll pour some more. Goodness. There, is that easier? Yeah. Anyway, the only way I can really share the great stuff about this book is to go really spoilery. So there would be all kinds of stuff that I would have to tell. And I don't know if that's like the right thing to do or not. So you'll have to tell me. But this is definitely magical realism. There's no doubt about that. It is, it's really, if you read Andrew Peterson's Adorning the Dark, this book kind of feels like Tracy Higley said, that's really great, but there are so many people that really learn best through story. So I'm going to create a story that illustrates the things that he talks about in that book. And it's not what she did, unless she didn't tell people. I don't know, but she never claims to do that. But that's kind of what it feels like. This is for creative people who either doubt their creativity, doubt their worth as a creator of some sort, or struggle in some way with it. Okay, there were things in here that I caught right away, and I don't know if I was supposed to or not. There's one in particular that I feel like I wasn't supposed to catch, but maybe I was. If I wasn't supposed to, it wasn't done well enough, because I thought it was crazy obvious. But because, I mean, almost from the first, I was like, I wonder if. And then the next time it got brought up, I was like, yeah, I bet. And by the third time it was brought up, I was like, yep. And then the next time, there was something to solidify my opinion behind it. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, if that is supposed to be a mystery, it wasn't. But the story, I gave it 4 stars because I didn't know how to explain it and what to say. And it's not like it's like the most amazing story on the planet as far as the story itself. It's just so impactful because of what's behind the story. So then I kind of feel like, well, maybe I should bump up a star. So I might. I don't know. I have a few things I marked. I don't know what they are. Let's look at them real quick and see if I should read them. Here we go. An artist has many things to overcome before he or she can even consider the risk of bringing work to the world. You must first get past all the distractions that would keep you from the work, both the distractions of mere survival and those of empty amusements. I thought that was really good. I was like, I think this quote is what sparked the Rosabelle mysteries. Okay, so her name's Kelsey, and Kelsey is writing. She's finally writing and coming up with something, and she's talking about her character. It says, she doesn't get herself inside all the travel posters, my protagonist. Not this time. In this story, just the first of them, the most fascinating to her, the pyramids of Egypt. I'll need to research more about Egypt, of course, but the story's only just getting started. I'll be happy to rework and revise once I have my main character to her first moment of stepping through the poster into another world. And I was like, I'll bet. I'll bet. And in here, there's more Egypt. I'm just saying. And then William Wordsworth. To me, the meanest flower that blows can give thoughts that do often lie too deep for tears. I liked that. I didn't know that one. And at the very end of the epilogue, I can actually read the end of the book without giving anything away. Because before the artist is forced to choose, there must be a moment of clarity. For some of us, I'm embarrassed to admit, it takes a bit more persuading for us to see. But the choice must come with two courses laid out, two roads diverging in a yellow wood, or on a yellow legal pad, or yellowing ivy keys, or a palette of yellows. Yellow, the color of cowardice, but also of sunlight. You choose. And it was such a cool way to end the book. It was so good. So I don't know. There's so much to talk about, and I really can't talk about more than I have already in this and the last video without giving too much away. So unless you guys actually want me to do a deep spoilery dive and really go into all of it, I think that's all I can say about it without giving too much. Okay, and then the next one I read was the Celluloid Sentry. It is the 10th or 11th, one of the two, in the Homefront Sleuths. And it, oh my goodness, it was so good. So I'm loving what the authors are doing with these characters. I don't know who writes what. You know, does the dad, because it's a father-daughter team, and I'm like, does the dad know all the war history? And so is he like doing all that part and she's writing the story? Or does he like know all the mystery stuff, but she knows how to put, you know, where to put stuff and how to put all the things? You know, I don't know how they're doing this. Maybe she's writing some of the characters and he's writing some, because it's from multiple perspectives. And so it could be that. I don't know. But they're doing such a fabulous job with this series. And we're gonna talk about that. But they just, wow, this one. So in this one, we have this young man who is a home front guard. He is killed in a pretty theatrical way. They're trying to figure out who and why and all the things. They know that there's some you know, spy kind of saboteur stuff going on in the neighborhood, and they're trying to figure out if it's connected or not. They figure it has to be, but they don't know why or how. There's all that going on. There's interpersonal things going on, but I really love how they do this. They let these characters grow as people, and their friendships and relationships grow without that overtaking the point that these are mysteries. They do such a beautiful balance with it, and I love it. I'm just really having fun. Okay, and you know, in this one, as with many of the others in the series, the people who are involved, this whole group of sleuths, they get themselves into dangerous situations and have to get themselves out or not, and all the things. And it is so good. This time, so I think 2 books ago, we met this boy Alfie in London. He has a dog pilot, and they end up coming to Crofters Green, which is the name of the village that all of this is kind of surrounding, you know, not quite, it's not all just there, but it kind of surrounds that a bit. And I think the next one is like away from the town. So who knows? But anyway, and this boy in this one kind of gets a bit of a role. He's a boy, and so he does foolish boy things, as well as, you know, he's street smart. He was living in London on the streets alone with this dog he found, and he was making it. So he's got a lot more savvy than the average 10-year-old boy of today, for sure. And even more than, I would say, many of the London boys of that day. Not all of them. I think some of them were probably savvier. Is that a word? Savvier? I don't know. But anyway. So they, you know, there was all that going on. But he and his dog actually got to play a role in this one that was reasonable. They know how to have people step up and be their best self without overdoing it and making it unbelievable and unrealistic and, you know, just too much. So I loved it. I kind of knew I would, but you wonder, when is the one going to come that you're just like, ugh, this one's not so great. Because it seems to happen with every series. It happened with A Verity Bright. I was enjoying the Eleanor Swift mysteries for a long time. And then we got to Manhattan, and I was so unimpressed by that one that I quit listening to them. I wasn't reading anymore because I was done. And it's not fair. I need to, once I get over myself, go back, skip that one, go to the next one, and see if I like it. Because I think I will. That one I didn't, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. So those I have done. I'm still reading Rosabelle Shaw, and now I'm... So this week, I made a lot of headway. I think I've only got like 90 pages left or something like that. It's less than half the book. This time... This boy Jay that they've taken in, I can't stand how they treat him, and not because they're unkind to him in an overt way. Fanny dotes on this little boy they rescued so much that she's blind to his negative influence on everything. This kid is obscenely jealous of anyone having any of her attention over him. She has 2 other children. She has a husband, and he will do anything he can to need her so much that they don't get her attention. He is just this conniving, manipulative child. I don't like the child, and it's not the child's fault. It's Fanny's fault for doing this coddling and just obsessing over him, and it's her husband's fault for letting it happen because he has the authority in this family. They live in a society where this is still a thing, and the loving thing that both of them would do would be to not let this kid have this kind of control. It's cruel to let a kid have this kind of control over an entire family. It's terrible. And after all kinds of shenanigans, really bad shenanigans, this boy and their children go off to Edinburgh for school. And her sister, I think her sister's name is Allison, but I guess I could be wrong about that. Not sure. If it isn't, it's something close. And Allison gets this kid. She knows exactly what he's doing, and she doesn't confront him with it. She just doesn't let it work. He doesn't want to have to do drills at school. I don't know what that is, but he doesn't want to have to do drills. And so every 2 weeks when it's drills day, he has a headache and can't go to school. So she figures this out, and she makes him stay in his room alone with the curtains drawn. He can't read a book. He can't do anything. He's bored stiff all day. And suddenly he decides that drills aren't so bad. So the next time they come around, he doesn't have a headache. And this happens over and over and over. And then, when he goes back home, and guess who? He just attaches to it. And I'm so fed up with these parents. I want to smack them. They're both being cruel to this kid by trying not to be. And it's, so frustrating. I can tell that this is going to turn into something terrible. Something terrible is going to happen. And I don't know what kind of terrible, but I suspect that this boy is going to pay the price for this. And that just ticks me off even more. So there's this tiny part of me that says, you know what? Just let it go. But I want to know if I'm right. I should probably find out if I can find a full book synopsis of this online where I can get all the details about it and just read it really fast and get rid of it. Because it's a library book. It would go back and life would be good. We're done. And there's that part of me that is like, yeah. And then there's that other part of me that's like, don't do it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm listening to The Inklings Detective Agency by John something Kelly, maybe? I don't know. I think his last name is Kelly. It's John somebody or another. It's a new Christian fiction mystery out. It features right now Tolkien, Lewis, Williams, Fox, something. Anyway, several of the Inklings. I think it's supposed to bring Christy and maybe Sayers in as well. I'm not sure. But I thought I read that they were going to be involved in this too. So that's kind of interesting. But the story, this guy is an amazing, and I want to say something now before I forget it. This guy is an amazing, I mean, amazing writer, because there is a character in here who is a hedonistic, vulgar man. I mean, he's debauched, and you know it without any doubt just by the way he responds to things and the things he doesn't say. And yet I will confess, I am no good at innuendo, unless innuendo is kind of in your face, which kind of subverts the point of innuendo anyway. If it's not kind of overt, I miss innuendo. I always have. So people will be like, yeah, I love that book, but all the innuendo, and I'm like, didn't catch it. And I'm glad, okay? On the one hand, I'm really glad, because then I'm not affected by it, and that's great. I'm sad because I would like to be able to say, okay, there's a lot of innuendo in here, so beware. Or it would, I want to add to that, and then I would know if not to read the next one, but I'm missing the innuendo, so it doesn't affect me to read the next one. So maybe, but I'm not seeing, I've been looking for it because of how this is handled, because it is handled so well that I suppose maybe if you've read a lot of books with that kind of debauchery stuff in it, where it's on the page instead of alluded to, you might like fill in the blanks. I haven't read that much. I'm not filling in blanks. I'm just knowing that this is one sick creature, and my skin crawls around him without me knowing exactly the kinds of things he's alluding to, and I appreciate it. So it's just, it's bad, and yet you don't know why it's bad. And I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I think I know who they want me to think it is, and I'm sure it's not. And that's all I know so far. I'm only a third of the way in, I think. So, it's not far enough to really have anything. It's clearly not one of those ones that I pick them out right away and go, yes, it's this. It's not that. But other than that, I don't know. So I can't wait to keep going with that. I got a lot listened to last night when I made more ice cream. And I was kind of sad that I didn't get to listen to more tonight. But, oh well, it is what it is. But, yeah, that's all I've read. And, I still have those over there that I have plans for. But I'm not going to add more to it this week because I just want to finish those. I did start The Color of Home. That's right. I forgot. And I actually really enjoyed the beginning. So that's good. I mean, it wasn't like the most amazing thing ever, but I could see where it's going to go, and I could see the character in it, and I could see that I like who she is. So I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. But yeah, I did start that. I forgot about that. Okay, so here's the deal. I want to say that's not true. I am going to do an entire thing on mysteries. But I've spent 30 minutes talking about this almost. And we're done. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to just stop here, say how do you do. I hope you have a good week. I'll do all the things. And then I'm going to do another video right after this for Friday talking about the mysteries. Because I think it's going to take about an hour to talk about all that. So, maybe not. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, this will get spliced in there. If not, I'll be wearing the same shirt next time. Yay! Anyway, but yeah. I think I'm going to split this up. So, that'll be cool. I also got in another book this week. Oh, I think it's Desert's Edge. It's by Dante Lupinetti. And it takes place in Phoenix. People, you know, EMP, post-apocalyptic kind of thing, where he and this gal are trying to get people out of the city and up to Prescott, and all that goes with that. And there is a very good chance that I will pull that up on there. But I really want to read Cheryl Weber's But Not Forsaken. And there's just so many. I don't know what I'm going to do. So what are you reading? And what are you doing? Someone mentioned that they just saw or just did something with Jane Austen July. So now I'm like, I feel like I should add something like that in really quickly. But I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to be good. I'm going to stick with what I'm reading because I still have to get to, please make sure, July, August, September, October, yeah, I still have to get to Beyond Mulberry Glen, and I have several books to finish for my Passport to Summer Reading, and I just want to read those. I just want to do those. I've got a couple over there. See, Rosabelle Shaw, oh my goodness, Rosabelle Shaw is one of those. So I'm going to finish it. That decided for me. I forgot that it is one of those. Yes, I could switch something else out, but I'm not going to. I'm going to finish it. Okay, that was a nice reminder. Okay, we got this. We got this. But anyway, so yeah, hope you have a good week. I hope you had a lovely weekend, and I hope you don't melt. I'll see you Friday, and we're going to talk mystery series, all the mystery stuff.